Whether you believe it or not, a lot of the videos on my channel are an open letter to myself. While I make it come off as someone who's experienced enough in the matter from the other side to form certain opinions, I'm often the one who's trying to dig my way upwards, to give tangibility to the other side of me that thinks everything will be okay if you give it an optimistic dose of rational thought. I enjoy making videos. I could probably say that I enjoy it about as much as I do of the things I talk about on this channel. They tend to bring out a side of me that I hardly get to interact with, but most importantly give me enough time to reflect and think about what I take away from certain series and games. It's incredibly difficult to process the things that happen in my everyday life, let alone the finale of a show that I really enjoy watching. So it actually does me therapeutic good to attempt to reconcile and reflect on what I've come away with. Things change and shift around us so frequently, and oftentimes we hardly ever get a chance to slow down and accept that things are happening. It's always onwards and on to the next thing, trying to leave the past in the past, but those actions we take, those moments we experience, aren't just a past event. They're a part of you. Much like a soft song, KyoAni's Violet Evergarden leaves me with the warm embrace of a loving mother. Unintentionally with its beautiful art style, slowed down pace, yet gentle story, and amazing voice acting. And intentionally with its, beautiful art style, slow-paced yet gentle story, and amazing voice. Just trust me, I have felt things from this show that didn't come from the warning labels on the box. Violet Evergarden is just that familiar story of someone who's deeply scarred from the inside out, doing what it takes to both find a world that's worth living in, and coming to terms with who they are and what they've done in life. In most shows with such a character, they tend to grow by being put in situations that amplify the stress of the past. Perhaps even a sprinkle of drama and action to really spice up and drive home how this person can let out their emotions. Violet? She types things for people.
Yo, let's go! She's just like me for real!
Violet Evergarden is a show that requires reflection. The ability to respect the past and carry forward, bringing along the aching pain that persists, or the fleeting joy that refuses to reemerge. An interesting and unique take on how things around us truly need to be expressed in order to grasp its meaning on us. How the aftermath of war has its consequences that needs to be resolved in one way or another, both internally and externally. But rather than doing what most would end up implementing, to see inside themselves to come to terms with their past, things are acknowledged slowly, piece by piece, to begin the healing in the first place. Violet is the person at the apex of it all, writing letters for those who want to express their happiness, their regrets, and even hesitations. For those who can't read and write and unable to interpret what they're feeling through written communication. She also does it for those who don't quite have the words to tell another person how they feel. Anyone held back by the intricacies of words itself and unable to use the tool that we use every day, language, to convey their sentiments. But Violet isn't some poppy shonen protagonist that wants the best for everyone around her, punching people left and right and trying to get them to express themselves. She's led around with her clients' wishes, seeing things more objectively, and trying to use a blunt approach to help them write their letters. But unfortunately, our character is in a tangled mess of trying to convey her intentions to others, unable to express herself or convey how she's feeling at any given moment, leaving characters to guess at her state at any given time. She makes mistakes in the beginning, writing down things too bluntly, and not properly getting her clients' emotions across in the letters she writes. But it's slowly through time she begins to help others with their issues of communicating by slowly coming to terms with their own emotional issues. And through helping others properly write out how they want their letter to be sent, it helps her own self come to terms with her inner turmoil and how she begins to grow with each client she writes for. Looking back on this show, it makes me think of myself as a YouTuber. I try really hard not to sound pretentious sometimes, so forgive me if I'm stepping out of line. But it makes me think of videos like mine that break down media, analyzing shows to collect the meaning from them for others to agree or disagree with, and internalizing those meanings a bit more, not just to understand them, but to understand ourselves as well. I've only got about 650 subscribers at the time of writing this, But even in my own small catalog, I kind of feel like I've processed quite a bit of what's going on through my own mind. And while I'm still trying not to step on eggshells, I also feel that maybe someone else out there gained a new perspective from one of my videos. Right? And for the longest time, I've always wanted to make a video on Violet Evergarden, but had no idea on how to approach it. And even this is a very short surface level video that I might come back to one day. But the show touches on so many ideas and covers so much that's near and dear to my heart, and it all just amalgamates in my mind. But upon looking back on it, and seeing how it processes the trauma of the main character little by little, not just all at once, really came back and hit a sweet spot for me. Because it's never just one straw that unbags everything and breaks the camel's back. And those journeys we go on in life tend to have equal weight in the long run, so long as you can remember them. It's always those unsuspecting letters that you write that have the most packed into it that you had no idea that you've been holding in until it reaches paper. Reflection and introspection tends to happen around the time of New Year's. So I hope whether it be good or bad, you realize that everything you have inside you is a letter to be written, a story to be told, and not something that you should just bottle up and move aside for the new you. You are the culmination of everything you've experienced and fought through, good or bad. You can carry that forward and be a positive force. Thank you for such a good year. I really do appreciate every comment, like, view, and I try not to get meta often, but each one really does make me feel so special. It genuinely means a lot to me, and thank you for everything. I hope you have a great new year and a great life going forward. Take care of yourself. And thanks again. I'll see you tomorrow.